Hi, my name is Scarlett. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a very belated 2025 mid-year book freakout tag. By the time you're seeing this, we are at the end of summer. Hello, this is Scarlett editing and it is November 15th by the time you'll be seeing this video. Whoops. Whenever I'm referencing summer, don't get too jealous. But since this is the start of my channel, and if you are new here, as I assume possibly everyone is, my name is Scarlett. I love to read. I go to NYU currently. I'm a senior. I'm a double major in English and then this kind of niche arts major called Performance Studies. A book YouTube has been a lifelong goal. Hate to say it. Maybe not lifelong. At least 6 years long goal. And it's finally time for me to suck it up and make one and get over being perceived on the internet. So that's what's happening here. But I thought, as an introduction to my channel, I thought it would be interesting to talk about the books that I've read for the first half of the year. Should I have done this then? Yes, as we know. But since we weren't catching up back then, I thought that it could be good to do the tag now, but still like mark off the first 6 months of the year and all of the books I've read since the end of June. I won't count in this tag, even though I wish I could for some of these tags. But this self-imposed rule is really important to me. So yes, we are currently in my apartment in New York. Yay. Why don't you have more books? Because I'm a college student in New York and I have cried every time I've moved. Okay? Because it is so hard to pack everything. And the thing about books is that they take up so much space and they're so heavy. And I am one girl, okay? I am one girl who is not hitting the gym enough for that and does not have the composure to make moving out with more than, oh God, already. I have too many already. It's the start of the year. Yeah, I think I have 30 in this room. So maybe it's already going so great. Tangent over. Let's talk about the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm obsessed with this tag. It's such an awesome tag. I particularly am a big fan of Emmy, as you'll see. I just have been a lifelong Emmy fan. Lifelong, again, me using life as if my life started 6-7 years ago. I think if I had to describe myself in the book YouTube world, I think I am an Emmy Moon, a Lexi Sun, and a Jack Edwards Rising. Take that as you will, book people. But I feel like I do have an amalgamation of some of their tastes particularly, and that's who I go to a lot, thinking about what kind of books I want to read. So if you're interested in any of that, this could be for you. Okay, it's time to begin. Oh, how many books had I read? I think I'd read 38. I should know that. Me typing in Fable wrong. I am on Fable and Goodreads, but I mean, who cares? I've currently read 49 books. It's mid-August right now, but by the end of June, I had read 38. So I've read 11 books since then. So out of those 38, that's what I'm working with, January to the end of June. So with that, let's get into it. The best book you've read so far in 2025. I have two that I've selected. This was really hard to winnow down, but the number one pick that I just absolutely came to mind was Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I read this book in February. Who cares? I read this book in February. It completely just did something to my brain. I don't think this book is for everyone, but it really was for me. The perspective that this book injected into my bloodstream was crazy. And I fell in love with it. It is a book about 6 astronauts in space. They are from different countries in the world, and it goes through a 24-hour cycle in their life, and it kind of bounces from people's perspectives. The plot, there's no plot. Which I kind of was surprised how much I liked, but the writing was just, it was filled with care. It was filled with just richness and life, and the perspective part of space is one of my favorite things that I think reading gives us access to, if you're not an astronaut, is that it allows you to go into space and imagine what it's looked like and be there in someone's mind as they look out onto Earth. I think particularly, I mean, one of the things that stuck with me so much is this description of politics and about how politics contour our world, which seems so silly when you're up in space, but you realize that every single thing you're looking at is influenced by people and politics. And it captured how silly and also gravely serious like borders and politics are. And I think that it did something for me. Characters felt personal to me, despite having so little time with them and so little dialogue or context. I felt living in their brains was so special to me. I cried so many times reading this book. It was just 5 stars. 5 stars. So that's my definitely best book I've read so far. The other book I would say is that I'm going to talk less about, but Remains of the Day by, how do you pronounce his name? Kazuo Ishiguro? That's not right. Pronunciation. I find that really difficult, guys. Not even just other languages. Sometimes in English I have a hard time. So you gotta be careful with me, okay? Tell me. Kazuo Ishiguro. Okay, I'm so sorry for my butchering of every language ever. But Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. This book took me by storm. It took me by surprise. It's about a butler who is, we're currently in the 1950s, reflecting on his life in the 1920s for a wealthy British, like, aristocrat kind of person. And the times are changing and there's a lot going on politically in the world and in the kind of fallout of World War I, starting into the start of World War II, and then going into just reflecting on how much the world has changed, particularly for him as a butler who prided himself on being, his whole life is built around being a butler. His father was a butler, and the way that class started to shift and the world started to move so quickly and change so quickly, I think was so well captured. These are both pretty shorter reads. I love when a short book can do a lot for me. My goodness. I did not expect to love that book as much as I did. I don't know how to even describe it, but I think once you read it, it's a jarring start to the book because you're like, why are you using so many words to say so little? Like, that's like, it's so over analytical and careful and cautious, and you're like, what is going on? But I don't think I've ever found a character more characterized through their writing. More than this, more than the butler. End of that book left me in shambles. I think the quiet dread and the quietness of these big, big feelings and moments. Oh my God, I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, definitely the other best book. I took a long time talking about that, so I'm gonna move a lot faster, guys, from now on. What has been your favorite sequel of the first half of the year? I have 2 here written down. Again, it's gonna be 2 for most of them. The first one is Mistborn, The Hero of Ages, and then the second one is Crooked Kingdom. Mistborn, I read the trilogy a couple months ago. I had never read any Brandon Sanderson. This was my first, and I think it was a really fun trilogy to get into. Start of the book, I was like, this isn't really, I'm not getting back into the story as much. Honestly, I don't know if I'm feeling it as much. The end of Hero of Ages, let me just put up on the screen for a second the way that Hero of Ages affected me. I loved the first book. I think that was my favorite of the trilogy, but Hero of Ages took me somewhere I haven't been taken in a long time. Okay. Crooked Kingdom, the Six of Crows duology. I had the good fortune to read it this year for the first time. Oh, those characters. I feel so protective. Kaz, Inej, Jesper. Those are my soulmates. Those are my soulmated people in fiction. And what a beautiful, I think I might like the second one more, which hard to do. Hard to like a sequel more The ending, perfect. I have so much love for that book, for those characters. Definitely read. If you haven't read it, it's kind of, I do feel like the duology is if like, it can really be liked by everyone. There's like a great amount of romance. There's a great amount of like development and plot development and fun and heistness. It was hard for me to get over the hat, but I got over it. And I think it was definitely one of the best sequels I read this past year. Moving on. Okay, was there a new release you haven't read yet, but you're really excited to? Yes, there are. Number one is going to be, that I'm fiending for, is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. We'll get on more on this later. I need to read that book. I have been waiting on Libby, and I've been waiting for my friend to finish it so I can, whichever comes first, so I can steal a copy, and I cannot wait. I think I'm going to love it. I love all of her books. She's just speaking of, I cannot wait to read it. So that's just big. We'll get on it. More on Emily Henry, my opinions, in a video coming soon about my month with Miss Emily Henry. Other book, I actually have this on I have this one. I got it with Book of the Month. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Shwab. I have never read V. Shwab. This was just my Book of the Month pick, and it is just really pretty. And some of my friends really like V. Shwab, and I would love to get into her. I don't know how much I'm gonna like this, but I like sapphic stories and I like vampires, so it's promising. But because I own it, I do feel very excited to get through it. So listen to that. Beautiful, beautiful. Last one I'll say is Sunrise on the Reaping. Gotta read it. I'm reading it with my brother soon, who is younger than me. We're big Hunger Games fans, and we have just been putting it off because I'm scared. So that's that one. What is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? Easy money, The Strength of the Few. If you did not read The Will of the Many by James Islington, what were you doing? What were you doing? Because Strength of the Few, some people have already read it, and I'm furious. I wish I had made this channel earlier and had experienced a boon of success so that I could have read it by now. Can't wait to read it. It's the sequel to The Will of the Many. I loved it. That fantasy book, I still think about it all the time. It's like this Roman-inspired fantasy book. There's a special boy. There's an academy. It talks about colonization in a way that is real, which I love in a fantasy book. There are twists, there are turns, there is deception, there is friendship. It's amazing. You need to read it. So I'm eagerly awaiting November, and I'm so excited. Less exciting, what is your biggest disappointment of the year so far? I have two, again. Onyx Storm. As I said in my Goodreads review, I do have a toxic relationship with this series because I cannot help but keep coming back. And I do have this soft spot in my heart for it that like, I read Onyx Storm in like 5 days, okay? Like as soon as it came out. Don't you worry. I think it's because Fourth Wing was one of the first books. Big reader, but I also wasn't reading as much as I am now a couple of years ago. And Fourth Wing was one of those books that like when I was starting to read again and starting to kind of like read for fun again and enjoy it while doing an English degree, which has been taxing, but actually not as taxing as I'm implying that it is. But anyways, Fourth Wing just really like sucked me back into reading for fun. I was just like, I haven't felt this joy in so long. I love fantasy. And so I hold these hopes, and I think that like the potential in these books are so good, except it's so poorly written and awful. My biggest gripe is that with Onyx Storm is that I am never confused in books unless you really want me to be. Like I am the type of person, I go slowly. I pay attention to everything. I highlight things I don't understand so I can come back to them and track them. Like I am paying attention to the plot. I'm paying attention to like what's going on, and I'm never confused. I've never found like a fantasy book confusing in that way, unless it's like, Will of the Many has like unless it's like supposed to be a big reveal. I could not understand what was happening in Onyx Storm. I had no idea what was happening. Everything was so, like, every time they would build up a moment, it was so disappointing. it just wasn't great. I'm still going to finish the series, obviously. But I love, like, I'm really there for the dragons and the side characters. Xaden and them are so annoying. Violet are so annoying, but I love the dragons, and I love Imogen, and I love Bodhi, okay? Kill me. Other biggest disappointment, and this is controversial, I think, was Two Twisted Crowns, which is in the Shepherd King duology. It's the second book to One Dark Window. I thought this book was bad. I can't even lie. The ending saved it for me a little bit of enjoyment. I just thought that the characters have no chemistry with each other than Elizabeth and the monster, who we don't even like really get to hear from. I don't speed up my audiobooks more than like 1.1. That's the fastest I'll go because I need to pay attention. For me, some people can be crazy. I sped that up for me to like 1.6, which for me is I'm flying through because I just was like, I can't stand this. Like, I cannot stand reading this. Like, I'm so bored. And I just feel the lack of chemistry or tension all the time. So, my bad. I loved the gothic vibe. I loved the magic system. The characters just did not feel real to me. They were never in my heart, except for like the monster. No swearing. What is your biggest surprise so far? I have 3 for this. Number 1 was Uprooted by Naomi Novak. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I loved Uprooted. People had told me to read it. It's kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I believe it's Polish inspired. It's inspired by Poland and Eastern European fantasies and stories and fables. Loved it. So fascinating, so different. I think that the romance was weird, but that's okay. Everything else about it really surprised me with how fresh and interesting and invested I felt reading it. I don't know, the forests and the rivers are just so mysterious, and this just tapped into that mysterious, mystical, like interesting. I really, really liked that book. I know there's a second one, but I probably won't read it, but loved it. That really surprised me. The second one is Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross, which Rebecca Ross also wrote Divine Rivals, which we'll talk about in a second, but I loved that book. I think I just love like a fresh feeling book and a fresh feeling magic system, and that's where Clementine and her dad fight nightmares. They're like kind of the town's sorcerers. That's not the word. And I was just obsessed with the vibe of that book, and it really surprised me. I didn't expect to be so engrossed in her world and her candles and her clothes and her magic and the townhouses. And I was so immersed and so surprised. I'm still thinking about it months later. And then the last one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This book surprised me and the whole series surprised me because I cried in it. Okay? I cried about her relationship with her father. Okay? I thought I was just gonna go have fun vampire romance, and I cried. I found that there was so much complexity in her character and in her relationship with her father that in who she was. Totally unexpected. Really surprised me that was how I felt about it. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked those books. I did. I had a really great time reading them, and I think that they stand out with the fantasy romances I've read in recent times. Moving on to favorite new author, which I've kind of been harping on this, but the 2 that I have here are Emily Henry and Rebecca Ross. Not debut, but new to me. Emily Henry, I read all of her books in 1 month, other than Great Big Beautiful Life, and it changed my whole brain, okay? It changed my brain. I had never read contemporary romance before, in book form, let's just say. And I was blown away. Totally blown away. Her characters, her romance, how real it feels, how real their problems are. And I was freaking out. And I've described the way that it feels to realize that her men don't exist is the way that it feels when you're a kid and you realize that you'll never have magic powers. That's how I felt when I realized that these men weren't real. So, other one, Rebecca Ross, who wrote Dreams Lie Beneath and Divine Rivals. I'm so excited to read more from her. I just thought that her writing puts you right in, and I love that. I love when authors don't mess around and they put me right in. And I'm obsessed with the foggy city nature of her worlds. So cool. Excited to read more from her, for sure. Okay, the newest fictional crushes. We have a couple. Kaz from Six of Crows. I'm in love with him. Yeah. Selwyn Kane from Legendborn, which I read the first 2 books of and I did really enjoy. Definitely YA. Like, this is YA, you know what I mean? But I loved him. Are you kidding me? Half demon sorceress. If there is a triangle, I am choosing the dark and brooding character. I'm choosing dark and broody. Always. As you can guess, we have Kaz and Selwyn Kane. It's not looking good for me. Okay, Emily Henry, like Miles, Gus, Alex. Shoot me. Those are my faves. Those are my fave guys. Yeah, I need them. Particularly, like, Miles and Gus. Like, I need them. I need you. Like, I can't. Okay. It's okay. They're fine. They're not real, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. Jude. How can you not be in love with Jude? Jude is so amazing. She is sexy. She is smart. It's hard for me to fall in love with the main character because I think I ascribe myself with them. So, like, I'm not really falling in love with, like, myself in that way. But, like, Jude, wow. Jude, stop. I love that she's ruthless. I love a ruthless, okay? I love a ruthless character. Dora from Half a Soul. It's about a girl who, it's kind of magical realism. That's not even the word. Like, it's a fantasy book from Regency era England, and half of her soul gets taken by a fae at a young age, and she just has to navigate this Regency era time, and with kind of an oddity, which is definitely, like, very neurodivergent-y. It's very neurodivergent vibes, and I just fell in love with her. Jasper, Six of Crows. When will I stop talking about this series? No one knows. But yeah, I love a character with a struggle, okay? And he has so much heart, and I felt so connected to him. And then Ryland Grace from Project Hail Mary. I love a science teacher, and I love whimsy and jokes and someone who's smart and cares, and I just found all of that in Project Hail Mary with Ryland. Books that made you cry. We have a lot, but I think I narrowed it down to 4 of the main real tears. We had Hero of Ages, Mistborn. Yes, we know. And sobbing for hours. Hero of Ages, Orbital, as I mentioned. Tuesdays with Morrie, I cried the whole book. There's definitely some really valid critiques of Tuesdays with Morrie, but I really, really loved reading that. I loved reading that. I cried the entire book. If you've read Tuesdays with Morrie, you know it's about a true story of the relationship between a professor and his old student as the professor is passing away. And it's their Tuesdays together where they reflect on things and they talk about life. And I sobbed the whole time. Oh, God, even talking about it is so difficult. People say it's cliche, but I think that a lot of the truths about life are cliche. And I just found it really beautiful. Their relationship. Totally different vibe. We do have the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Yeah, that's when I cried about her dad in the vampire fantasy romance. Okay? Yes. Books that made me happy. Half a Soul, the one with Dora. The one about the girl who gets half her soul taken by the fae. And it is a romance. And it's just this warm cup for me of goodness overflowing. And I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so whimsical and serious when it needed to be and heartfelt. And And then I have Persuasion by Jane Austen. I'm a big Jane Austen fan. I love her. I think she's amazing. I'm a Jane Austen girl through and through. I've read 4 of her books. I'm kind of like saving up. I read this one for class actually. It made me really happy. And I really love reading her. I love being in her world. I'll definitely make a video about Jane Austen in the future because I have a lot to say. I had a great time reading it, and I love her characters and I love her stories. Okay, these ones we're in the final 3. I'm speeding through these because this video is way too long as is. The most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. I have a couple options. 2 of them aren't with me right now. One of them is. This isn't necessarily beautiful, but I'm just obsessed with it. I bought this in London. I studied abroad in London. Super fun. We'll talk about it later for sure. I studied abroad in London, and they had an event at one of my favorite bookstores for these new Penguin Archive books. And this is The Fire Next Time, as you can see. And oh my God. It's just so cute, and I love the simplistic and the red. I just loved it. The other 2, I think my most beautiful would be 84 Charing Cross Road. Look at this. I would bring it with me out there. Also London. It's a London-based book, and I love the cover. It's so colorful and whimsical, and yay. The last one is Letters to a Young Poet, which is one of my favorite all-time books ever, and I got another copy of it in the beautiful kind of mini cloth-bound classic vibe that is at my friend's house right now because I'm lending it to her to read, of course, and so beautiful. So those are kind of my 3, these beautiful little books. Okay, and then books I need to read by the end of the year. We have, I picked 3, really, that I really want to get to. The number 1 is that this isn't one book, but I want to read a big tome. East of Eden, The Count of Monte Cristo, Moby Dick are the 3 big ones right now that I want to get through. Those are my dream kind of tomes. I want to get through like a long kind of serious book, and because I get a lot from them when I do, and I think it's going to be one of those picks. I'm leaning towards East of Eden or The Count of Monte Cristo, but Moby Dick is really, I do really want to get to there because I do love Melville and Herman Melville, and I'm obsessed with the way he writes about the world. So we'll see. It's going to be a big tome. That will be tough, and it's going to take me a while because I'll be in school, but we're going to work on it. The next one is The Fifth Season by, I don't know who it's by. Is it by N.K. Jemisin? Genesis? Something like that. I have been wanting to get to this fantasy book for a while. It's also on the New York Times Best Books of the past 25 years list, which just really like solidified how badly I wanted to read it. But I know it's definitely a little more serious and sad. And I'm not super ready for that right now because this summer for me has been a summer of romance and whimsy. So that's going to be when I'm like really sad in the future. But I'm looking forward to it. And then the final one I also have up here, actually. This one is too. I do want to read this one also. Okay. Devotions by Mary Oliver. I love Mary Oliver so much. Upstream is one of my favorite books of all time, her essay collection, and I want to get through her big book. Oh, it smells so good. Oh my God. Yeah, it's long, but it's poetry, and she's just... Cue the wild geese TikTok audio.
You do not have to be good.
Yeah, want to do this year. I got to start now because I just want to take my time and savor it. So, yes, that one. Devotions, Mary Oliver. And then I do really want to get to The Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I bought this copy at the Shakespeare and Company in Paris. So it has this cute little stamp from there. And I really like Joyce, and Emmy, the book YouTuber, really loved this one. And my professor is a big James Joyce, my favorite professor is a big Joyce person, and really highly recommended this to me. So I'd love to get through this also. Yeah, I have a lot of serious books apparently coming up, but I'm definitely also, oh, you know what? Let me throw in one more. I would like to finish, and I'm going to, the rest of the Nevernight series. ASMR. I am like 30% of the way through this book. I am obsessed, and I feel like no one is talking about it. It came out, I want to say, in 2016. It's by Jay Kristoff. We're going to talk about this in the future, but this series, I'm really looking forward to finishing it. It's a trilogy, so I can't wait for the next 2 books. The next one was favorite book to movie adaptation. I do not watch a lot of movies. Not a big movie person, never have been. All of my friends are film majors. That is hard for them. Not for me. I just really haven't, I don't even think I've watched one book to movie adaptation this year. So I chose instead, I was in a Shakespeare class earlier this year, and I got to see the Tom Hiddleston and, oh my God, what is her name? Hayley Atwell. Okay, I got to see the Tom Hiddleston and Hayley Atwell Much Ado About Nothing play in London. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. It was my favorite play, Shakespeare play that we saw, and seeing the two of them, well, my childhood Marvel heart was very happy, but I had so much fun watching this play. I think they killed it, and it was a play directed by Jamie Lloyd Webber. No, not Webber, Jamie Lloyd. Anyways, yeah, it was just such a cool adaptation. So I'm cheating on that one, but I don't watch enough movies. With that, I feel like I've given you a pretty good idea of my reading, the kind of things I'm interested in, the kind of books I like. I love fiction, I love fantasy, I love sci-fi, and I'm having a whimsical year, okay? I'm needing a lot of whimsy. Last year was kind of a more serious year of reading for me, or not serious, but I was just reading a lot of like kind of books that were a little more sad than what I'm reading right now, because I'm feeling the whimsy in my heart and soul in 2025, and I hope you are too. So I will definitely see you soon with more videos. I'm not sure if this is going to be my first or second, but hopefully there'll be another video if you would like to know more about anything I was talking about in this video. And I'm so excited to get into fall reading with you. I've been wanting to share my thoughts about reading for a long time, and I finally feel qualified, honestly, and ready enough to have things to say that could be valuable to what kind of books you want to read, or something if you just want to commiserate in a book together. So I hope you are having a lovely end of August. I know that it is the Sunday of the year, and we are all in it for sure. But I hope that you can have some hot, hazy summer days where you are and enjoy some of the remains of summer. Mwah. See you next video. Bye.